So, a really warm welcome to this intro session to the Serpent Sanctuary and also an intro to snake medicine, really. And I'll tell you a little bit about this hour that we have. In a moment, we'll do a very brief invitation to just drop into our bodies, into the present moment. Then I talk a little bit about what snake medicine is all about and show a little slideshow. And also, we'll give you a little free writing exercise. And then I'll share about the Serpent Sanctuary, and there will be space for questions. Yeah. So that's the lay of the land. Um, yeah. So, yeah, it is my first invitation just take a moment, if you like, having a soft gaze or close your eyes. Ah, and maybe put your hands somewhere on your body that's comfortable, comforting. And then let's just take a few breaths together. Ah, breath, our beautiful life force energy we can always tap into. Breathing in, and with each out breath, allowing ourselves to let go of what doesn't serve us right now, what has been today, and what's still to come. Ah, we can really land here together this time. Where you feel, see where you can feel your sit bones and imagine with each breath settling in a bit more down, feeling how you're supported by gravity, how you're held. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe there's something you like to give yourself just to complete. Maybe you've noticed a little tension or anything. Maybe it's a hug, maybe it's a little shaking out of something, maybe it's a little mini massage. Just a way to gather ourselves in, I call it, to really arrive. Mm. Ah, beautiful. So, once again, warm welcome. So, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Eva Weaver. I'm living at Phoenix Nest in Saltine near Brighton. And yeah, I'm wearing many different hats. So, originally, I've come from art psychotherapy. I worked in mental health for 10 years and then moved much more into embodiment work, into breath work. I'm also a writer of historic fiction mainly. And over the years, I moved more and more into conscious sexuality work as well. And shamanism has been a practice that's been with me for, yeah, about 30 years. And I mention all of these hats I've been wearing and I'm still wearing because for me, this is all really relevant when it comes to what I call snake medicine. Because what I do now is mainly being a snake medicine guide. And I feel snake medicine is a real culmination of also all these practices that, yeah, I've been working with and walking with and weaving with for all of those years. So my journey with the snakes, I thought might be interesting to begin with. They've been with me for many years, really since my childhood. And if you believe in past lives, probably lifetimes. So when I was young, snakes came to me in dreams, and I was really fascinated as a child when I went to the zoo and first saw a great boa. I could almost not believe these patternings and the magic of these creatures. And I remember the first time I handled a little black snake called Alchemy, and I was able to hold it, and it curled around my arm, and something really powerful happened. I had a really visceral memory. I couldn't put it into words, but I knew this, and I was really touched, emotionally touched, and it felt there was something that was transmitted by the snake. It was like a life, past life remembrance. I don't know what it was, but it was another point in this snake thread. And then as a young woman, I came across this figurine of the Cretan, well, the archaeologists called her the Cretan snake goddess. So this little figurine was found in the palace of Knossos. So this is like 3000 before Christ. So it's about 5,000 years old. And when I saw it first, it again, I had a very visceral experience. She has these piercing black eyes, the bare breasts, of course, and then these snakes in her hands. And it felt like this cut through any images I had actually seen, even of powerful women. So it really, yeah, it really pierced me on some level. And so this has been a really long path for me, and it's only been the past few years that I came to understand that this probably wasn't a goddess as such, but a depiction of living, breathing snake priestesses. So priestesses who did work with the snakes. I mean, there are theories around that these were vipers and they allowed themselves to be bitten and going into trance in that way and accessing healing and divination. And it took me even longer to understand that this lineage of snake priestessing isn't broken, isn't cut, but it is still alive, that this is an unbroken lineage. And I'm finding more and more people, mainly women, who connect with this lineage of working with snakes in some ways. And then, of course, I began to study about snakes and found that snakes were really revered all over the globe for millennia in pretty much every continent before the big change to monotheistic religions and the demonization of snake that was very much going hand in hand. So, and I speak a little bit more about that later. um yeah, so it's been about 8, 9 years that I've been with the snakes, and 7 years ago I felt ready to be a steward of snakes, and I lived for several years with two beautiful pythons called Sid and Mist. Sadly, Mist has passed, but she's still very much with me from the spirit world. So what what is snake medicine? I already mentioned the word. So for me, snake medicine is everything we can learn from the actual snakes, first of all. So, how they are with the seasons. Of course, the whole process of going into ecdysis, so the process of going inwards, preparing for shedding, and the continuous shedding, but also how they are with their territories, how we can learn about boundaries. So many, many things we can learn from the actual snakes, but then also from the symbolism of the great serpent that was, like I said, present really everywhere. So whether we look to Egypt, many African countries, China, India, the Americas, and often there were, and still now in India and some other places, there were temples specifically for the snakes, where probably um, actual snakes were present, as well as sculptures and figurines of snakes. Snakes always been also the protectors at temples. And so for me, snake medicine is a lot about reclaiming ancient wisdom and making it accessible for our times now. For instance, living more cyclically with the seasons is something we very much can learn from snakes. And for many, when snake is mentioned, they connected with sensuality and sexuality. So again, this is a very, very important part. I'm going to show a few slides just to, um, also illustrate just how rich um, this history has been and still is. So I really feel snake medicine is a path. We can walk it as a path that supports us in healing, in diving deeper into embodiment, supporting us being embodied, but also in our sexuality, creativity, and ways to live cyclically and in more in harmony with the season. Open yourself to the teachings of the serpent. So this is a phrase that I want to say came through from the serpents. Um, I've been developing a practice for now almost 2 years, where I sit down every morning, write the date, and then this phrase, and thus speak the snakes, and then just allow to write whatever comes through. And I don't know, you know, what what this is that I'm accessing there, whether it's my subconscious, whether it's the collective unconscious, whether it's the great snake, my snakes I've been living with. But definitely snake energy and snake wisdom is coming through. And very often it's this opening, this invitation for us to open to the teachings of the serpent that really want to come back now into the collective psyche. And you might know that we are in the middle, right in the middle of the Chinese year of the snake, the wood snake. So this year, in all of its tumultuousness that we're experiencing collectively, and most of people I know, also individually, I feel is very much connected with this, with these teachings, because snake invites us to really let go, drop, shed what doesn't serve us. This image is from my beloved snake Mist, who's passed 2 years ago. Shed what no longer serves you and receive the goodness that is aching to find you. Yeah, so as I mentioned, one of the core teachings or mysteries of snake is that of the perpetual shedding. Change is the one thing that we know is constant. We'll never stop changing, and we never stop being challenged to really let go what doesn't serve us. So, this is one of the most powerful teachings of Snake. Snake sheds because she grows, but also to avoid parasites. So it's for growth as well as for health. And I feel this very much relates to us today as well. You know, if we're really hanging on whatever it is that we've outlived, whether that's old patterns or relationships or work, um, it doesn't not only doesn't serve us, but we might get physical symptoms. We might get ill. We cannot grow. This is a shed from my snake, and we'll explore this in depth in the Serpent Sanctuary. Yeah, snake brings aliveness and awakening and an invitation to really tune into our cyclical nature. The snake is really connected with power, and when we connect with snake energy, we can tap into our own power, whether that's becoming more embodied, more connected with our sensuality and sexuality. Maybe it's about our assertiveness. There are many ways that snake can support us. Setting boundaries. This is a beautiful cobra. Cobra, when cobra asserts the territory, the cobra rises to eye level and keeps eye contact, but also they make themselves bigger. It can even growl. And all of those things are embodied ways that we can learn and apply in our own lives. This is another figurine from the Knossos temple in Crete. These figurines are from Nigeria. Again, Nigeria has a still today very alive tradition, particularly around the royal pythons. There are still temples. And I mentioned sensuality and sexuality. Really, Snake invites us to connect with Eros, to tap into our sensuality. I mean, snakes are intensely sensual. Um, or whether it's our sexual life force energy. And of course, many people have heard of the Kundalini energy, our life force and sexual energy that is situated in our bodies at the bottom of our spine, and then can be wakened in many different ways, whether it's through breath or awareness and movement or all of it together. Snake has been connected with the theme of healing again for millennia. In the ancient Greek times, the first hospitals, we could say, were Asclepions. They were dedicated snake temples where people who were seeking healing of any kind, physical, mental, spiritual, were coming to these temples to go through a process that included um, the so-called catharsis and the cleansing, and then an incubation where people were dreaming and resting in the dark in chambers with non-venomous snakes present. And the idea was that the healing was coming through the dreams that then were interpreted. But I believe that they were also coming from the snakes and the transmissions that happened through that. And also in very ancient cave drawings, snake appears again and again. This is probably a depiction of a person we would call a shaman, person who walks between the worlds and connects with spirit guides. This is an image of Asclepius and Hygeia. Um, Asclepius, who is the demigod of these temples. Snakes also have been very much connected with creativity. There's so many creation myths found all over the globe that feature the snake, such as the Aboriginal um, tale of the rainbow serpent. We do find snake when we open our minds and begin this journey. We will find the serpentine, the snake energy, and also, yeah, the how a snake looks everywhere. We'll find it in nature and within us. Snake is present in so many ways in our bodies, whether that's the more obvious, the spine that allows us to be flexible as well as strong, but also the blood vessels, and just down to our DNA, which really is the double helix, and our intestines. So, yeah, snake is present. And the deeper we go into learning from snake and snake medicine, we'll see that a snake really brings and carries the mystery of life. And hence also was a very powerful symbol of alchemy. In the Serpent Sanctuary, our group program will also tap into snake as a shamanic ally. It's a beautiful session where we um, journey together as a group, and you'll be invited to ask for and usually find a personal snake ally that can support you on the journey within the sanctuary, but also beyond. And that's a guest session where Claire Carpentier, who's a coach, business coach, and human design expert, as well as a shamanic practitioner, will join us. Snake is so connected with the theme of completion and evolution. So this perpetual change, which is to do with the shedding, but you might have also seen the symbol of the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail. Yes, and for me, that very much connects with times of change, completion, and the point where snake um, eats its own tail is also the ignition for the newness to come. We touched on sexuality before. For me, snake is also a very powerful symbol of that which transcends polarities. I mean, Freud has very clearly put snake into the symbol of the phallus. And we can see that, in the left when we look at a boa like this. But equally, when a snake opens its mouth, it looks very much like a vulva. And the fact is, when we handle a snake, when you see a snake, we will not be able to see what sex the snake is. It needs a particular probing to even find that out. And I had a personal, beautiful story with that because I received two pythons that Sue from the sanctuary in Harwich. She worked for 30 years with snakes, and she said, "Yeah, they're two male snakes, beautiful." And I had them together in my vivarium. And about 4 months later, I returned from a weekend away and found my snake Mystery sitting on a clutch of eggs. So Mist had been a female snake. Yeah, so for me, there is something really transcending about snakes, also around this rigidity of dualities and polarities to open something in us also, around gender, around sexuality, this fluidity. And as I mentioned, snake has been present throughout history. And I would like to share a little beautiful slideshow with you that shows snake from, yeah, all through millennia. And I invite you to just be with this. This is sometimes it can be a really powerful transmission, but just to receive it. Um, and if you have something to write with, there'll be a few moments later just to do a bit of free writing around that. I'm going to see if I can share sound. Enjoy.
Sachidananda Para Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samvita Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samvita Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samvita Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samvita Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samvita Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namaha
Maybe just take a minute or so if it speaks to you, either to do a bit of free writing. By that I mean just put your pen and paper and see what comes. Maybe just move through your body, whatever feels right. Yeah, take another little moment to complete. So now I want to speak a bit to the Serpent Sanctuary. I called it the Sanctuary, holding those who hold others. So it's a 3 months online program that supports women space holders who are going through a time of change, any change in their own lives. And we will work with the wisdom and power of snake medicine. Women has a star there. Women includes in this program also non-binary folks and genderqueer folks, and trans women are warmly welcome. And we begin on the 9th of October. And so the whole idea of the sanctuary came to me because, as a space holder myself and knowing so many of my colleagues, one thing I've always found is we need these circles of support to really stay nourished in our own, yeah, in our own strength, in our own juice. And yeah, I wanted to offer that to space holders. What we'll explore, it really is an invitation that the serpent invites us to cultivate rest, create powerful boundaries and discernment around our energy, discernment around what's precious to us, to cultivate deep embodiments and strong grounding. And then, of course, to work and embrace pleasure and our sensuality, to shed any rigidity, become more flexible, adaptable, agile, and practice self compassion and presence with what is. And so I'll take you a little bit through the program. So there are 6 powerful teachings and sessions that take us on a sacred journey, an individual journey and a group journey. So we begin with initiation to really look at this moment in time, what is present, where we're situated, as well as looking at our embodiment. So for me, the first teaching of snake really is about the body. They are belly to the ground, with their whole surface. They are on the earth and they are so sensitive. They feel everything, vibration. And so, yeah, the first step of this deep journey is about rooting down, coming into connection with our sacred vessels, our bodies, and also beginning to explore our relationship with rest and cultivate sacred rest. And the second session is about resourcing, returning to our source, to what nourishes us, to pleasure. And then we're entering, alone and as a group container, this incubation chamber that I mentioned. This idea that we are really entering this shedding process by dreaming in the dark, being with what is and becoming clear about what it is that is outlived and needs to be shed. And then we're going together through a rite of passage, really. I call it through the eye of the needle. And this is a beautiful shedding ritual where we dive deeply into, yeah, the mystery of shedding. We can learn from the snakes there and how it applies, but then also it is a powerful group ceremony that we are going through together. And then it's about anchoring that change in our everyday lives, looking at what might need to change, being discerning, looking at our boundaries, as well as beginning to vision the future. Once snake sheds, because when snake is pre-shed, their eyes are clouded over and they're nearly blind. But when they're shed, they can see again. And so again, this is this connecting metaphorically very strongly with snake. And then in our sixth session, um, we look at the bigger themes of metamorphosis, renewal, and how to embody our new sparkling skin and celebrate as well. So this is what was really important for me was that this is a spacious program, but a very powerful and very holding container. And from the folks who have been going through it, um, this has been the feedback that it's been spacious enough, but very very deep and holding. So you'll get 6 2-hour live sessions online. Everything is recorded, of course, as well. And then there are 3 um, live integration sessions in between. There will be a group that can be very active on WhatsApp to, yeah, it's meant really as a support through these 3 months. So it's a space to drop in, to share what's going on. I will share. I'll always be present there. You'll get access to a platform with lots of practices and a beautiful, beautiful handbook for each session. And then as a bonus, each person also has an individual, I call them snake medicine guidance session with me, they're up to 75 minutes. They're really beautiful alchemical co-created session where you bring a question or an issue that's really dear to your heart, that's present, and I will tune in with the snakes before the session and bring whatever comes through to the session. But before that, I will take you through a process as well to tap into, yeah, this connection with snake and this deep inner intuition and knowledge. And then another beautiful bonus is oh, there's of course we'll be doing a ceremony and rituals. There will be sharing circles. We'll always attend to our nervous system. Part of these 2-hour sessions are beautiful snake medicine meditations, so that are created by me to really connect you deeply with these themes of snake. We'll be working with snake as a shamanic ally, and you can have all the recordings. You can also download and keep them. And then I have a really special bonus this round. I'll have my beloved Claire Le Carpentier come onto the Sanctuary. She's a business coach, a manic practitioner, and also a human design expert. And so she will bring in another layer to support us through understanding ourselves better in our unique human design. So there will be an extra group session um, in the beginning of the sanctuary, maybe after the first session, and then you'll be getting a one-to-one session with Claire as well as a report about your unique human design. And we'll begin. This is a picture of Claire. Um, what what are the benefits? What will you get from the sanctuary? So support and nourishment is at the core of it. And you'll be really helped by a delicious community of fellow facilitator as you navigate your unique change. There will be guidance and wisdom coming through from the snakes and through the practices, and of course, your innate, deep, inner, embodied wisdom. Yeah, so you connect with your own wisdom, but also are inspired by your fellow travelers. You become really clear in this container what it is that doesn't serve you, and within a group ritual will have a really effective, powerful, embodied way to shed that, and equally to anchor new patterns that you're learning around discernment, pleasure, and boundaries. So it's about resourcing and shedding and really, yeah, becoming this new self that's there, you know, underneath the old skin, and to be witnessed and held in community. So we'll begin in on the 9th of October. This will be a daytime journey. It will be sessions will be on Thursday, 12 to 2 UK time. I think this is a really beautiful time where we're fresh, and we can, yeah, take this time in the middle of the day. The early bird price is still up till the 11th of September. That's 888, and after that it will go up to 1111, 1111. I offer payment plans. Please talk to me. It can be spread out up to 5 months. So yeah, and yeah, I would love for those who the sanctuary is calling to come on board. The doors are open, and yeah, I've had some beautiful testimonials come through of, oh yeah, really the magic that can happen, and that has happened in that container. So wondered whether you've got any questions, want to share anything. Yeah.
Thank you, Eva. That was really wonderful. Very, very revealing already for me. I'm just curious. I felt like because I've had when I was very small, we lived in South Africa, and so my grandfather brought in a dead snake one day and showed us and said, "This is what you have to do if you see a snake," and all of this kind of thing. And my mum always tells the story because she said my older sister was under the table screaming, And I was just gazing at this snake lovingly. And at the end, I said, like, I want to stroke it. If I see a snake, I want to stroke it. And obviously felt this connection to them. And then as time went on, kind of as I got older, I can't remember. I think I held one. It was when I held one in my teens that I felt a bit of fear.
Mhm.
And I was really feeling into I really hold things. So I know I work with people, I help with letting go and transformation, but when it comes to myself, I can really struggle to let go. And I was just wondering if there's some kind of rational fear that's being put into me of venomous snakes, but whether that kind of fear I feel around them is just a fear of my own kind of power and letting go, and
Mm.
yeah, my own kind of snake qualities. um yeah, but this really helped me
Yeah.
already reconnect, so I'm very interested in the program, in the sanctuary.
Mm. I think this is such a rich inquiry that you bring, because in my work, fear is really welcome
Mm,
because, like you say, very often where there's fear, there's also power.
mm,
Very much. And when it comes to snakes, we really have to understand how, we are reclaiming something after, yeah, thousands of years. Yes, that has been really powerful, but also that has been demonized. So that fear has been, um, yeah, passed down also for generations and generations. And then you bring the aspect in of venomous snakes.
mm,
I know I haven't been to South Africa, but I have friends, and I know, um, that is a whole different ball game. Being confronted with, say, a black mamba, where that bite
mm,
could be the end of you if there's no
mm,
antivenom. And so, you know that's really welcome. And even people who, yeah, have been very fearful of snakes, sometimes just through the engaging with them, just being in the present, say, I mean, I have non-venomous snakes, the python,
mm,
that could be very, very healing as well.
mm, mm.
But I think, yeah, thank you for bringing that in. And of course, that's all part of what we'll explore. The
Amazing.
exploration is also very shaped by, yeah, by what each person brings.
Mm, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you're so welcome. I'm gonna stop the recording.